Hello, everyone. Thank you for watching Blair and Company. My name is Joshua Blair, and today I have the amazing Darnell Miner. How are you today?
Doing good. How are you?
I'm doing well.
You all
Thank
right?
you. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, yes. So I'm so glad that I was able to bring you on. Like, I look up to this man so much. Like, this man has so
Oh,
much going on.
just a little, I appreciate you.
No problem, no problem.
Yeah.
So today we're just going to talk about a little bit about who you are, what you are about, what you do, and
hmm
just talk about a little bit about your company, his travel club, what got you
hmm
started with it, how is it going since the
hmm
pandemic, and also talk a little bit about your interior design company as well. So for people who don't know
Okay.
who you are, just give a little introduction to who Darnell Miner is.
Who you just my government name? Who you just they just gonna be able to find me, huh? um, I mean, a little bit about me. So, I'm originally from California, and raised in LA. All my family born and raised there. Um, Pretty much, growing up, my father, my mom, we did a lot of family traveling. So I've been traveling since a infant. My dad, he's from St. Louis, so we would just take trips to the family reunion, get in the car. Like anytime I think of like my childhood, those are like my greatest things, that I think about, my greatest memories. Um, so yeah, spent some time in California, and then college. I was down in Texas, University of Houston, Texas Trail. So went to U of H, Texas Southern, and when I was in college, me and friends we would travel. We didn't really, get to go out of the country much, but just local New York, Vegas, hanging out, just something that I just really enjoy doing. It's just a vibe to traveling, seeing new people, different things. So did that, and then once I graduated, did some traveling. Then I was able to go out of the country, move around. I'm in Atlanta, Georgia now, so had the opportunity to kind of plant some roots here. Buy my first home, and I, just been traveling, and man, I'm just like, out of all this traveling I've been doing around the world, I just really want to have people come that look like me and experience what's going on. You feel me? Like just letting them see such the beauty outside of where we're at. So I just really love to just travel and enjoy myself and enjoy the company that I keep with it and eat good food and hang out. Outside of that, I'm really big on the community philanthropy. I work with the Urban League of Atlanta Young Professionals. I love to hike. There's one thing about Atlanta and Georgia is that there's so many great hikes and waterfalls and trails. So I do a lot of cycling out here. Great train out here. So and I'm with the shit. So going out in Atlanta, hanging out, hookah, trap. Like I'm down. I'm out here in the sticks where my house is, but it's nothing to commute to Atlanta. So but yeah, that's a little bit about me in a nutshell. And most importantly, I'm God fearing. So anything I do, I walk in His purpose, or I make it known that like my life isn't my own. Everything I'm doing in purpose, and that's where I get my joy and my happiness. So yeah.
That's amazing. And I'm glad that you just that synopsis in a nutshell. Like for me, I'm
Yeah.
trying to remember how I ran across your page. I don't know because for me, I'm always like
Mhm.
I'm very big on traveling. Like ever since I
Mhm.
got into my 20s, like I wanted to just
Mhm.
travel a lot more. And so I don't know how I ran across you. I don't know how I ran across you, but
Mhm.
it just inspired me seeing another
Yeah.
African American man that's going to all these different places and that has his
Facts.
own business doing it and
Yeah.
taking people across the places that we would have thought existed or
Mhm.
had the
Mhm.
chance of going. And so for me, I
Mhm.
felt like that was very inspiring. And I just felt like I have to talk to this man. I got to pick his brain, figure out like, how did he
Yeah.
come up with this concept? So you said
Yeah.
growing up, you grew up traveling. So what is some of your like
Yeah.
favorite places that you went growing up?
So my family, like, we Bugetto, so it's like we would go to Vegas, California. If anybody's from LA, like Vegas is a hop, skip, and jump. So I would spend almost every other, holiday going to Vegas. My dad, we had timeshare, so I was lucky to be able to travel to like places like Lake Tahoe and Big Bear and experience snow in the winter. And then one thing when I was growing up is it's a mixture of things. So like the family reunions was a big opportunity for us because if you from California, 9 times out of 10 you got people because of our our histories and our ancestors and how we got here. So my dad, in a way of, he's from St. Louis, so our family, we got family in Minnesota, Chicago, Mississippi, New Orleans, anywhere. Even in Atlanta, I haven't met them yet. I have family everywhere, so every year we would just travel and get on these flights and meet all these people and go to these places. And then if it wasn't for that, then I was really big on sports, so I would do travel ball. So travel to Arizona, travel to Oregon, travel to these places in high school and things like that. So it was just something that I just would just get up. Like, it's nothing for me to pack a bag. Most people, like, I talk to all my friends, and like for them to pack, it takes all night. It takes me about 10, 15 minutes. I've been doing this for so long. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, so yeah, this it's just everything, just meet different people. And even if you're from the West Coast, like, I serve some people out there are from the West Coast. When you go to the South, it's so different, just looking at the smaller scope of it, right? Just how we live and the things y'all say, and the food that they eat and how they move about and how they can smell that we are not from here as soon as we pull up. So, just on that kind of scale, like, that just was so intriguing to me, how you only, a couple hundred miles away and it's still different. So when I started, like, going to places like Europe and Asia and Africa and things like that, it was on a bigger scale and it was more like eye opening. So
That's really good. That's
yeah,
really good.
yeah.
So once you start traveling like internationally to all these different places, how did
Mm.
that like affect you and on a personal and a professional level when it comes to starting up your own company, and then how you want to bring African Americans together to go to these different places that we would never thought that we would be able to go.
Yeah. So for me, it's more of a like a personal level, right? Like,
Hmm.
when I go to these places, um, they just live so differently, and not in like a bad way. It's their values and their compass of their values and what they believe in, and how they feel about life and what's important to them. Is just different. So when I go to these places, I learn a lot. Like, one thing that I've started incorporating, professionally, is when I was traveling to places like Europe or even Asia, life and work balance is really important to them. Like,
Hmm.
you are like, when I was in Spain, like, they close midday. Like, there is no, oh, we clocking out, it's an hour lunch. No, this our business is closed for 2 hours, and they will go and have lunch with their family, or they will go and then I was just you be seeing kids, like, kids will leave in the middle of the day and go to a park, something that we would never, like, what I'm saying? Like, I don't know about you, but in high school, we couldn't leave campus. We leave campus, we tardy, we get a ticket. So
Yeah, that's true.
the way of what I'm saying? So the way that they thought, like, it just helped me become a better person, and like, just spiritually, or like, just physically, like, certain things that matter to them. I just felt like a sense of peace, like, going to these different places and aspects of just how they work and how they live. So then when you come back to LA, or you come back to the States, and you just see certain things, your perspective just changed just a little bit, or it may change a lot. For me, it changed a lot. Like, certain things, after I got done traveling, just didn't matter anymore. Like, working 12 hours a day, like, that ain't it. You know what I'm saying? Or most importantly for me, your passion. You go to you meet these people, and I remember one time I was in London. What was it? Or was it Ireland? I think it was Ireland. No, I don't know where I was at. Anyways, I was overseas, and
Uh-huh.
I met this guy. No, what was that? Amsterdam. I was in Amsterdam, and it was, me and my sister were out there for his birthday, and it was this guy, and his job was to make hot dogs. And I'm gonna tell you, he was so ecstatic. He was so elated, and you just seen the joy like he had. Like, he was doing all types of tricks and stuff like that. Like, I don't know if you've been in New York, but if you see anybody on a hot dog cart, they're not interested. Like,
Yeah, I
take this hot
have.
dog and move on, right? But like, for
Hmm.
him, he was just so elated and so excited, whatever his energy he had, he gave it off on us, and it just made like a great experience of eating hot dogs. You know what I'm saying? And he just loved his job, and he did that day in and day out. And he just talked about how happy he was up to do what he do. Everybody's calls it different things, but it's little things like that that I bring back. So when I'm applying those things to my daily life, or even like it makes me want to show people like there's different things, there's different experiences that really can manifest whatever you're trying to do in your purpose, or do whatever it is you're trying to do in your life, even if it's not even to be an entrepreneur. You feel me? Like it's important. It's really important. So yeah, those are the things that I get and I bring back and I live and I try to. That's why it's so important to me to like get people to like that look like us or just in general that have a certain energy about it. Just go see it because it's one thing to like say you're gonna do it, but then to actually do it, right? How many friends you got? We supposed to be planning this. We supposed to be going over here 2 months ahead. Half of them ain't even there no more. So that's why I kind of did his just on a level to do the background work. So all you gotta do is show up and let's go have a good time. So yeah.
That's good. I'm glad you just said that because remember I had posted that on my story like a while ago of this girl, and she was talking about like she hates planning trips.
Uh-huh. How her and her friends.
Yeah, because I just
Yeah,
like I
yeah.
hate that because it's just
That's
like it
facts.
takes the fun out of
Yeah,
everything.
it does.
Yeah, and so for me, I was
It does.
like,
It
I,
does. It's
oh, what were you about to say?
no, go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying for me, it's just like it takes the fun out of everything, and also it's just
hmm
like some of the stuff like they will want to do is like stuff we could do at home. When I travel, I want to
hmm
go and explore different
Yeah.
things that I couldn't do at home. I want to learn different cultures and relay that back to what I would do at home and see how could I apply that to my
Right.
daily life. Yeah,
We
exactly.
ain't over here to eat McDonald's and KFC. I want to eat some of this authentic stuff. And don't get me wrong, I got a limit. Like street food, like this is a whole nother topic of discussion, but like certain street foods and stuff like that, like give me a second. But like, a restaurant with some authentic food, like I'm for it. Like I'm for the experience. But we're not about to sit in this hotel or we not about to go up to, they be having these travel advisor top 10 things. Like that's cool, but I'm trying to
Yeah.
hit it with the locals. Meet people. Hey, where it's at? Like let me know where it's at. Like show me, what it's about. And man, and that's one of the reasons why I just go back for more because it's just different in a good way.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Just
Yeah.
like you said, like I didn't come here just to sit in the hotel and eat chicken fingers and fries. Like I want to go outside and mingle with
Yeah.
mingle with the locals and see what they do and see what they eat and be immersed in that culture.
Yeah.
Yeah, most definitely. So tell me about
hmm
so once you decided that you wanted to make this a company, what preparations did you have to do to get everything set up? And then what was the first trip?
So the first thing, honestly and truly, the first thing I had to like really conceptualize and get it started is get out of my head. In the aspects of, I think a lot of the times people who have really great ideas, I think the first step is getting over yourself and just getting it out there
Mm-hmm.
and then just sticking to it. You know what I'm saying? So I think that was the first thing. And then the second thing was, you know, I just wanted to, I got together with some friends and I wanted to just kind of get people advice or get people suggestions and think about it because I think that's important. Like, even though it's a good idea, I think that it's also cool to have people who are close to you and really care about you, kind of understand what it is you're trying to do and then get their input because you matter to them. So
Yeah.
doing that, and then of course making it legal, so filing with the state, getting my license, working on a website. I am a creative, so I'm everything I do is visual. So it's kind of hard sometimes to have something in my head and conceptualize it, especially when you're talking to somebody about it and they just don't understand it. So I
Mm-hmm.
spent months like working on the logo and website and bringing some of my close friends in who are in entertainment and helping me and just getting my feet wet, and things like that. So that happened for about a 6 month, 6 to 10 month time frame. And the first trip I did it was a tester trip, and it was this past 4th of July, and it was in Key West, Florida. If you know anything about the Keys is like south of Miami. They're these very, very small islands, and they're known for their beautiful water. Very small, close knit of people who live there. Very good, vibrant set of people. Um, so we went there. This is in the middle of COVID, so I kept that in mind with traveling with everybody, make sure everybody's safe. Um, we went there. Long story short, I set up pretty much everything from where we're stood, how we got there, the restaurants we stayed at, the excursions. It was about a 3-day weekend, so we had a really good time. We went on a few boats, we went jet skiing, we went the parasailing. We had some pretty decent food. I mean, honestly, Key West ain't known for their food, so there was most of it was decent. The best that they could do. I mean, it is seafood.
Not the best they could
So we
do.
went just the best they could do. I mean, but we went, they're known to have a really good club scene on their main boulevard, Duval Street. Hit some clubs, we went to some bars, we had wine, we sat out on a beach, we had cabanas. It was just a good time. It was about a good 10 of us. And we really just enjoyed ourselves. And I did that as a tester to see, even though I had this idea in my head and I put it out there, I went into it observing my surroundings and the people and their responses and what can I do better or what can I implement next time. The feedback was really good. At least that's what they told me. A lot of them are looking forward for the next trip. So yeah, it was great. COVID, I'm just really leery about doing things in COVID, even though everybody is open season and they want to do what they want to do.
Mhm.
I just kind of have my discernment on more than anything. I don't want to put anybody at risk. We did have Dubai planned next month, but I'm just gonna hold off. I got some other stuff planned at the end of next summer. Let's just see what COVID is giving. But I'm really excited. I got some stuff, and I really just want to bring people together, and I just want to vibe. Like I want to vibe. I want to have a good time. I want everybody else to have a good time. I want them to see new stuff. I want them to, even if they don't travel with me, I just want them to just see different stuff and just be them, give them the courage to do it. So yeah.
I think that's really dope. And I've been to Key West for like a connecting flight to
Mm.
Miami. Remember we had that conversation. And so
Mm-hmm.
it seemed like, I don't know how to say this. It seems very white to me.
It's very white. No, it's very. It gives off. It's like if you can't afford like the Hamptons, you know what I'm saying? Like if you can't afford the Hamptons, or if you can't go to Martha's Vineyard. But if you want that island energy with, big beautiful houses and it has its own thing, like that's pretty much what you do. Like I want to like not between me because people are watching this, but like my coworkers, like my black coworkers was like, oh, you want to K West? Like, oh, I heard about that place. I heard some good things and bad things. My white coworkers went off, oh my, you're going to Key West? Oh my God, when? Like I'm just like, oh, like that's their thing, So a lot of our people don't go down there, but it's a good chunk of us that could appreciate it. I'll say this: you go to Key West if you want to like really relax. Like I would say that it was a very relaxing weekend. If you want to go hang out and go balls to the wall, you can do that. You know what I'm saying? If you want to do like water and rent a yacht and do that, you can do that too. If you want to chill on the beach, it's just a real low key. Maybe like a you and a boo thing, or you and a few friends just trying to get away. And I
Yeah.
thought at least for COVID, that was just a good, at least that's what I was looking for. Like with being in the house, I just wanted to get away and not be around people. So everybody really enjoyed it.
That's good. That's really good. I just wanted to say that because I'm like, I do want to visit, but I actually want to have a good time and be myself. So that would
Yeah,
be something that I would have to look into. But yeah, I would definitely check it out.
you should do it. Just do it on the holiday weekend because they tax on
Oh,
holiday weekend. So you can catch a flight, especially not from like Charlotte, like probably 100 some bucks in cheap hotel.
mhm.
Yeah, yes, it's definitely worth looking into though. It's a good vibe. Like, yeah, for sure.
Most definitely, most definitely. So where do you see his travel club going? I say within the next 5 years or so. Or what goal do you want to accomplish with his travel club?
Um, I think my biggest goal is getting a set group of people together in the short term. Just getting a good group of people who are willing to travel and hang out and experience new things. And I feel like for his travel club, this is a business of knowing of a person of a person. So if you
Mm-hmm.
have people go together, it's like a referral base, right? I hate saying that word because I'm not trying to refer people, but it's like, when you come to an event, you're gonna like let your friend know they may come.
Yeah.
So I want to grow organically. I don't want to just have these trips that you see out here with these people on Instagram. Maybe 26 people and they going to Nigeria. They don't know each other. They're there for the photo. Like I don't want that. I'm not interested in that. I'm interested in people who really have a good set of like energy and want to have a good time and is about the experience. So right now, I'm just really focused on getting a group of people together, and then on the other side, I'm really gearing in towards the area of having a set trip, a certain amount of set trips for the year. So like in a year, I want to do like 3 trips or maybe one a season, right? So every year, when everybody know like this time of season come, oh, Darnell's doing this trip around this time and this time and that time. So 5 years from now, I just see myself growing, my team growing, maybe people who like what I do and they want to do it too, that they just be an extension of his and they do their own trips and we come together, like making it like an annual thing or a semi-annual thing. This is just one thing that I really enjoy doing. This is something I just do on my leisure.
Mm-hmm.
So I want it to be fun. I don't want it to be made it come like I have to do this, I have to go on this trip, but I want it to happen organically where it's like, I'm going to Greece next year. So I just want to, I want to be excited. I want to be, want to rev it up. I want to make sure that I have everything. I just want it to be, oh, I'm going here, I'm going here. Let me just set up this itinerary, not itinerary. I just really want to grow organically and have certain dates set. And then around that time, I'll just, whatever I feel or whatever the club feels like. If they feel like, hey, Darnell, we low key feeling Toronto during Carnival, shit, bet, let's do it. You know what I'm saying? Or if they like, oh, like we've been hearing about Zanzibar lately or South America, like I'm for it. You know what I'm saying? So it's my club, but I want ownership in everybody that does it. So it's important that I'm meeting everyone's needs, as best as I can. So
That's good that you're letting people have their, like, you're listening to people's feedback on where they would like to go. And also I like the fact that you're saying that you want it to be more of something of leisure and then not really like a business, because when you put in like a lot of the business into it, it starts to
mm-hmm.
becoming more of a chore instead of a hobby.
Exactly. And I don't want that to happen because, I work a day job and I don't want to get off and then lose my passion for something I love to do. So, that's kind of like a hard question in the sense because there is structure to have in a club, but I want it to organically like, you know what I'm saying? I just want to be like, okay, this year, we going to such and such again. Let me just, because if I'm leading a group and I'm not passionate about it, it comes off with everybody else. So
Yeah,
at least how I feel about it.
I definitely agree. I feel like, yeah, I definitely agree. And then
Mm-hmm.
also I did you have any, just like any obstacles when it came to building up the club or trying to just get yourself together to start your own business as an entrepreneur? Like, what obstacles have you went through and overcame trying to set being your own entrepreneur and building your own business?
Um, if I can be very transparent, I feel like sometimes when you go on social media and you see all these businesses and everything going on, and some are great and some are going, you kind of get discouraged. Um, so for me, who, I'm really big on keeping myself to myself, meaning
Mm-hmm.
like I don't desire to have a large Instagram following. I don't desire to be. I'm the type of person like if you put somebody in the room, like my ideal job or who I am is to be the mastermind behind things that people don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really hard to like for me, one obstacle I had was to like really push my business in aspects of creating content. Like I travel, like I've been on like a few trips since going out to the Keys. And for me, I try to do a better job of like taking pictures of like the food and the things I'm doing because I'm a live in the moment type of person. Like I'm all about, you know what I'm saying? I'm with my friends, we having wine, we at this 5-star dinner, we talking about life. It's just we're just really like into it right now. So for me, it's really hard for me to take my phone out and be like, hey, you know what I'm saying? Like, so for me,
Yeah.
that's just the obstacle I have. Like I really want to push my business and I want to push it. I don't want to, let's not use the word push. I want to, encourage people to go and have them come organically. So that's something I'm learning to do as I do this. It's his is still an infant. I'm still, nurturing it and it's still growing. So I'm trying to find the balance and I'm trying to find ways where I can picture the moment and capture the moment for people to see, but also have that point where it's like, this is who I am and I don't really care for everything else, but you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get what you
One thing
mean.
I can help
Because
me get
I
over
for
that.
me, and I'm glad that you said that, because
Mm-hmm.
normally a lot of people, they aspire to be out there when it comes to their
Mm-hmm.
business and everything. You're the
Mm-hmm.
complete opposite. You
Mm-hmm.
you want your work to show for itself, but you don't want to take the
Exactly.
credit for it or let people know,
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, Darnell did this.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. I
Yeah, and
don't.
I feel like
I.
that's the best way to do it.
mm-hmm. I think that's the way of like having balance in your life. I think that's the way that you can keep some of your life to yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like at least for me, like I'm early on the stage, but I believe, I believe in God and I believe that, He's called me to do great things in due time. But I just and with that being said, like I feel like, um I don't really care. Like I want, like you said, I want the work to show for itself. Like I just don't have the desire because I'm telling you, like social media is something else. I mean, I know it's the whole conversation. Like, who
Yeah,
the cap that be going on, but but those are some obstacles that I really deal with. So, but as I talk to more of my inner circle and people that I know that really wants for me to succeed and be great, I find ways to really kind of keep that balance and what I need to do and what I want to do. Because ultimately, what you need to do is outshine what you want to do.
yeah, and I definitely agree.
Hmm.
And I feel like what you're doing right now is really good. I feel like keep it up, keep letting
Yeah,
your work show for itself, because people
yeah,
is
yeah.
going to recognize. And even if you don't want like yourself to be out there, people's going to know your
Hmm.
work. So I feel like
Yeah,
that's really
yeah.
good.
Facts.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah, most
Yeah,
definitely.
yeah.
So talk a little bit about, so you're into interior design.
Hmm.
So tell me a little bit,
Hmm.
like, what sparks your interest in that, and then what goals are you trying to do with interior design?
So, my mother and my grandmother, they've always just growing up. I've watched it. So my father is the entrepreneur.
Mm-hmm.
He's had all these businesses growing up. So the entrepreneur side is where I get from my dad. That's I want to work for myself. And the older I get, I realize like I can't be working for these people. So that's my stat. So then my mother and my grandmother, I have watched them pretty much design and make things that weren't so great, make them beautiful. My mother, still to this day, she has her own design company. She sells clothes. She does like holiday baskets and stuff like that that people come and get. Her house is always continuously changing. So I've watched my mom have these artistic mantles and these creative mantles that she just does off of a whim. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I watched her do that, and then um it just that's just a gift that I got from them. And then my grandmother, who is really big on just the details of furniture and design and where the wood comes from and the type of fabric that goes on the curtains, and this must be with this. So she's very meticulous on how her space is, and I've watched these women through my life, and then coming in full circle, this is something I'm really good at. So whenever my friends need me like to design something or they need something help with their house or a birthday party or a dinner, I'm usually the ones that they come to kind of make that space. And the older I get, I realize like this is something I really enjoy doing. Like I love to do it. Long story short, I've have decided to make a design company, and a part of it is interior designing. Designing spaces. Right now I'm working on a nonprofit that I'm a part of the board. They have a nonprofit coming out, a new office in Conyers. I'm designing a space for that. A friend of mine, she has a new home. I'm helping her with that. So I just love to do it. I've just been really good with color schemes. I like I'm flamboyant, but I'm also simple. You know what I'm saying? Like so,
Hmm.
I take two of the different things and put them together and make something. So it's just something I really love to do, and people have been telling me to do it. So I'm just starting to do it. Another part of that also is restoration. I see the beauty in antique furniture or old furniture, and I revive it and I redo it and I make something great out of it. And of course, sell it to whoever could see the beauty in those you know furniture pieces. So something very new I'm starting on. It's a second business. Um, I'm excited for its growth. I didn't even decide I want to do it this soon, but people have been asking me, and I just have been hearing that I need to get this started. So I've been doing it, and it's going very very well. Really excited about some of the things I have planned in the pipeline with that. So yeah, and then another thing is I got to put it on social media. I got to build a website. So coming out of my comfort zone and really getting it out there. So I'm excited about
I'm super excited for you about that because
that.
you are super creative. And I feel like for me, I know like that's gonna be something else that's gonna be hot. People are gonna be drawing attention. People just like I said earlier, people are gonna know you for your work. And
Yeah,
so I feel
yeah.
like that's gonna be something
Appreciate
that
that.
is really gonna take off. And if
Hmm.
I have stuff, I'm definitely calling you like for a fact. So
I
for
appreciate
me,
you.
like, yeah, I'm super excited. I'm happy for your new venture. It's gonna be really good.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm excited. I'm just, it's just, I think the biggest thing in starting businesses, and I'm sure you can contest, is just getting it off the ground, like just
Yeah.
getting out there and then just getting out there. But then when you get out there, it's kind of like, I call it like a baby. I call it a thing. You have to birth it, and then you have to, once you get out there, you got to tend to it. You got to make sure that it's, train it and all that other stuff. So, yeah, man.
Yeah, most definitely. So, but I'll
Mm,
always just remember to make it, don't put so much of the business inside of it because I feel like it's becoming more of a chore than a
mm.
hobby. That's what I would always like make sure. Oh, what were you about to say?
No, I was gonna say, yeah, I agree with that. I feel like a lot of times I see that in like restaurants. Like I don't know if you notice, like it'll be a really good restaurant. Like it's good, everything's well, the manager and everybody's, it's a just overall experience. The food is good, the environment is good, and then it becomes really successful. And then you start really show the diminishment of it. Like, the quality of food goes down, like because people get really comfortable. And before you know it, that business the experience you had before isn't anymore. So I look at those things when I go to places and I kind of take that back with me. Like I don't want it to get to a point where it's so good and so successful that I take away the point of it. And that's the experience. Whatever I do, whatever it's the experience. Whether it's when you walk in the room and you see the space and the calmness and the feeling of being like, man, like I really love this space. I love being here. Or with his, being on this trip. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, like every time I go on this trip with Darnell and in the club, man, it's just always a good time. I meet people, I connect people, I get to meet someone and network with them and you know what I'm saying? I want it to always stay my foundation, have my rock be anchored.
Yeah, most definitely. I feel like that's important
Yeah.
because it loses when the business becomes the main focus, it loses the essence of the reason why
Yeah.
it became what it is and why people were so
Mm-hmm.
drawn to it. So I just feel like it's
Mm-hmm.
so important to make sure you keep that is the most important thing because if not, everything's gonna fall apart.
That's it.
Most
Especially in
definitely.
Atlanta. Cause they be stuff be popping up out here and you be like, this is great. And then next time you come, you're like, what just happened? Like it was such a good experience last time. So
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
So, lastly, I always ask this question every time I interview somebody new to the channel. So, what
Hmm.
considers you, or what makes you a Black king?
What makes me a Black king? I think what makes me a Black king is my before it, outside of me, I think what makes me Black king is my lineage, my resilience of the people that came before me. I feel like if they didn't have what they had on them, I wouldn't be who I am. I
Mhm.
am I sit here because of the experiences, my parents went through, the things, the creators that they had, um, and the ability to overcome whatever they did, and whatever they had to go through, to make me who I am. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
I'm a Black king because of my ability to get navigate through this world, my ability to have a discernment, and the fact of what the people have been through, and the fact that it's just something about, like, I when I think about being a Black king, I think about just out of myself, like, as a people, like, the things that we deal with, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just something a special about us that sometimes that we have to dig deep inside of ourselves to see. So I consider myself a Black king because um because just, the ability for me to just overcome a lot of things that I've been through, and what I've gone through, and to take what I have and to take what's coming at me, and to be able to pour into people, encourage people, to help people, no matter how, what people think of me. My life isn't my own. Like, I really always want to be an advocate. You know what I'm saying? So when people see me, I want people who look up to me to see that it's just not about myself. It's about helping the next person out, helping the community out, being a role model to other people to do the right thing, do the just thing, not just do things because what people say you should do it, our society tells you to do it, but to do it because it's just the right thing to do. So that was a really good question. I've never thought of that.
And that was a really good answer. That was really powerful.
Yeah. It's just I just lead with as a humanitarian. Like, if there is anything, what I'm saying, that if I could just aspire to be, as a humanitarian, a really good one. That is just not about me. It's about the commonwealth of who's around me in my circle. If the anointing flows. So if it flow on you, whoever you're around, that's why I'm so big about helping people and making sure I'm doing the right thing, because this oil flow, you're gonna get some of this. And then whoever you're around gonna get some of it. So yeah, if that makes
That's
sense.
perfectly. No, that was perfectly said. I love that. And I feel like a lot of
Yeah.
people,
Yeah.
especially in today's climate, like we go through a lot. And I
Hmm.
feel like we need that support, as we need that support, and know
You know
that where we
what?
came from. Oh, what were you saying? I'm sorry.
Hmm. No, I was gonna say, I feel like they don't give millennials our credit. I feel
They
like,
don't.
as millennials, they talk more about us, but they don't look at the why. You know what I'm saying? Our parents was, some of them were baby boomers, other than was, I think, Generation X or Z or whatever. But
Yeah.
I think they look at the outcome of who we are as a people, but they don't look at the why. So we deal with a lot of stuff. Like, it's not traditional by the mindset, but we have a lot going on. Like, our
Yeah.
debt that we take on is tremendously high. The influences that we have are more influential in our lives with technology. You know what I'm saying? I feel like they
Yeah.
don't they don't really give us our credit. So, a lot of us are followers. I mean, in my at least opinion, like, there's not enough of us who want to take the lead on something versus, just doing what people think you should be doing. So I agree with
Exactly.
you on that.
I agree with exactly. I wanted to chime in on what you said. I just feel like for me, it definitely, like, I just don't understand. They don't get, like, well, I just don't understand why, like, y'all act
Mhm.
like like, say for instance, like the way we react to certain things, and then they'll be like, well, I don't
Mhm.
understand why y'all do this, or when I was growing up, I had two jobs and I was able to afford this and do all different stuff. I'm like,
Well, how
okay,
much
but
was your rent?
Yeah, exactly. Like it's not 1980. It's 2021. Like
Right. It's not how much did your car know? How much was your student loan payment if you had one? You know?
exactly. Like
Shoot.
it's not the
I'm
same.
sorry.
This is a different
It's
time.
not. Yeah, for sure. But we also got some good things out of them, like, you know, going to college, being able
Hmm.
to, pursue what you want versus what you have to, you know what I'm saying? Like it's just it's a good and a bad of it, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, man. We just gonna keep this thing moving. I mean, at the end of the day, everybody got their obstacles, but we just gonna keep it pushing forward, and we gonna get these businesses birthed, and we gonna get through these growing pains. Because one thing that I learned was, if I looked at all the successful people, rather it's like Jay-Z or Bill Gates or Oprah or whoever you may look up to as an
Hmm.
inspiration and being coming out of the mud and getting what they got, they all had to go through a season where it was like they last. Like
Yeah,
these businesses was not overnight, and I remind myself that no matter if you are an entrepreneur watching, it's like it is not overnight. Like social media or whoever will make it seem like they got it overnight. But if you talk to them, they will tell you like this thing takes time. This is a seed that's been put into ground and that is growing, that people nurture, and it has its bad seasons, its good seasons. But one thing I've learned that they all had in common, they were long suffering. You know, they stayed on it. They were focused. They were resilient. They just kept doing it. They kept grinding. And when that time come, where your moment hit, like it's gonna hit. Like you know what I'm saying? I'm believing that in everything I do. Like
me too.
I'm frustrated. I want to do this right now, but when it hit, you call it serendipity. You just got to be in the right place at the right time when it was set up, and it
Yeah.
just take that one person or that one experience, and everything changes. So I'm at least for me, I'm believing in God for that for sure. So
Yeah, I'm a big believer of that too. I feel like everybody had to
mm,
start from somewhere, and then somebody had to give them
facts,
their shot to get to where they are now. So it's definitely
right?
once it hit, it hit. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Yep.
most definitely. So where can we
Yeah.
find you on social media? Who wants to follow you? Who wants to come on a trip? Who wants to see some of your
Mm-hmm.
designs? Like where can we find you on social media?
So far as like kids, a travel club, yeah. Follow us on social media. And on there you can get to my website and you can sign up just for any updates, any trips we have. It's his travel club. It's h.i.s. travel club on Instagram. And yeah, man, just follow us. I just have content of, some food that I made, some things that I want to get into while going to it, or some past content of, some trips that I've had, and anything where I have any trips coming up or anything going on in the city. You can follow us there and stay in the know and keep updated on anything we have going. And again, I just want to create an environment where people like, me and Josh, he has this great platform for entrepreneurs like myself to have the opportunity to meet or introduce myself to his following. We come together and we break bread and he meets people and we come together, we have a good time, we enjoy ourselves. And that's what his is all about. Is I want community within our community to travel and all that stuff. So, that's something that seems like you down to do. Like, man, we would love to have you. Anybody that's so far been on the trips, like we're excited to meet new people. This ain't no code, you know what I'm saying? Like we're all out here in the trenches trying to get it. We all, doing our own thing, and we all live in different places. So, please, join us. We would love to have you.
No problem. So I would like to thank you for coming on. I've been trying to get this man on forever.
He really has. I'm gonna tell you something, and I want to say something about you, Josh. Like, if anybody haven't already, like, I really appreciate this platform you have,
Thank
because
you.
everybody is so more focused on set businesses. But it's some of us down here who really appreciate what you're doing to get our brand out. You know what I'm saying? And it's also like it's encouraging for us to do what we're doing because, like you said, you was with it. You was like, hey, when we gonna do this, you know what I'm saying? Like you're committed and you're passionate about it. And I follow your page all the time. I see what you're doing, and I'm also excited for you because I see what you're doing and. It's just a matter of time, you know what I'm saying, till, we get where we need to be. So, thank you so much for this opportunity. This is my first interview. I've never done this before. So I appreciate you trusting in me to have this conversation and to help, both of us together. It's really a great thing.
No problem. And thank you for even letting me be your first interview and just talk about your business. I feel like it's
We're
just an
gonna talk about
honor.
this 10 years from now.
Oh yeah,
We're
we
gonna laugh.
are.
We're gonna laugh at this.
Yes,
We're gonna
most
laugh. You remember
definitely.
that time?
Well, thank everybody for joining me today. I would just like to thank my guests again for
Yeah.
just joining me and be a part of this conversation. Just look, everybody stay posted on the new interviews I have coming up. My cohort edition for the Black Kings and the Black Queens project. At the end of the month, we'll have like a panel discussion with everybody I've interviewed, and we'll just talk about something that's regarding just different topics about what's affecting the Black Kings and what's affecting Black Queens. So stay posted. I'll post that on my social media. Like I said before, thank you for watching, and I hope everybody have a great day. Thank you so much.
Appreciate y'all.